Hello, welcome to the video lecture series of Python for Data Science. I am Vishal Parikh. Today we will explore more Python concepts. So, today we will cover what is operators, what is loop, and what are the different control statements. So, let us move on the topic operators. So, we have studied different types of operators till now. Now we will see what are the different types of operators that are supported by Python. So the first one is arithmetic operator. Next it is comparison or relational operator. Next it is assignment operator. Next it is logical operator. It is bitwise operator, and the last it is membership operator and the identity operators. Now we have seen the previous operators in our different programming languages. So arithmetic operator, it includes addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. Now what does Python include in these arithmetic operators? So it provides the operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulus. Now until now we have seen that other programming language provides just simple division. Python provides two different types of division, that is simple division as well as floor division. The another advantage of arithmetic operator is it provides exponentation operator. Next comes that is comparison or relational operators. So what does it includes? It includes greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. Next comes that is assignment operators. So all the arithmetic operator with preceding equal sign are assignment operators. Next comes logical operators. So logical operator, it includes and, or, and not. So in other programming languages you were using symbols, but now in Python for using logical operators you have to use and as a keyword, or as a keyword, and not as a keyword. Next operator is bitwise operators. So it works at a machine type level. It includes bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise XOR, ones complement. It includes left shift operator, and it also allows right shift operators. Next comes is membership operators, and the last is identity operators. So let us explore more on membership operators and identity operators. So let us first move towards membership operators. So what is membership operator used for? So whenever you want to test whether a particular sequence is appearing in your string, list, or tuple, at that particular time you have to use membership operators. Now what does membership operator include? So the first operator it provides is in operator. Now what is the significance of in operator? So it will evaluate to true if the variable is found in a specified sequence. That means, for example, I have created a variable which is named as s1 and it is storing a value that is hello. Now if I want to check whether h is present in my string variable s1, so if it is present, then this membership operator in will return true, else it will return you false. So the return type of this in operator is either true or false. Next operator comes is not operator, that is not in. Now the exact reverse of in is not in operator. So when it will evaluate to true if a particular sequence is not present in your list, your string, or your tuple. So at that particular time it will return true, else it will return false. Next operator comes into picture is identity operator. So what is identity operator used for? So identity operators are used to compare the memory location of two objects. Now as we know, integer, string, all are treated as an object. So whenever you want to check whether two different objects are pointing to same memory location or not, at that particular time we have to use identity operators. Now what are the different identity operators provided by Python? So the first one is operator. So this is an boolean operator, that is it either returns true or it returns false. So when it will return true, so if two different objects are pointing to same memory location at that particular time, it will return true, else it will return false. The next operator supported is not. So is not is exact reverse of is operator. So is not operator, it will evaluates to true when two different objects are not pointing to the same memory location, else it will return false. Means if I have stored a is equal to 5, b equal to 5, and now if I am going to check and I am going to use is not operator, it will return me false. Why? Because both the objects are storing the same values. Now let us move towards our next topic, that is loops. So you all are aware about loops. Why we are using loops? So if we want to perform same task repeatedly for n number of times, at that particular time we use loops. So what are the loops that are supported by Python? So the first one is while loop. So what is the syntax of while loop? So first we have to use while keyword, then we have to specify the condition. After specifying the condition, you have to use colon operator, and after colon operator, whenever you press an enter key, it will show you a tabination. So here you can see that the statements are inside this while loop. So what does this indicate? This indicates that the statements now which I am going to write is inside the while loop. So if you compare it with other programming languages, so after writing while condition, we were using curly braces, but this has been removed and instead we are using indentation in Python. So you can see here a small tab. What is that? That is simple indentation. Now an extra thing that Python loops provide is an else statement. So when this else statement will be executed, when your condition of the while loop evaluates to false. So for example, if you have encountered a wrong condition, that is if your condition is not being satisfied, at that time it will execute else block. Now this else block again is an optional. If we write, if we want, or we can exclude it. Next type of loop that is supported in Python is, again it is a for loop. So you all are aware about for loop. If you recall your traditional for loop, so what was the syntax? First we have to use for keyword, then we have to use iterating variable, then we have to satisfy the condition, and then we have to either use increment or decrement operator. Now the syntax slightly gets changed in Python. So first we have to use for keyword, then we have to use iterating variable, then we have to use in operator. After specifying in operation, we can either use sequence or we can use range function. So what is a range function? That we will explore in our programming sessions. So what is a sequence? So sequence can either be a string, it can be your list, it can be your tuple, or it can be your dictionary. Now similarly, after specifying the colon, the statements that are returned, it indicates that they are inside your for loop. So to distinguish it from the remaining statement, the Python uses indentation method. So the statements inside this will be treated as a body of your for loop. Again, Python provides an else statement with the for loop. This statement will be evaluated again when the condition evaluates to false, and this is your optional block. Now what are the different control statements? So why we require control statement? So sometimes we need to do some typical operations. So at that particular time we have to use control statements. Now Python provides 3 different control statements. So the first control statement is break statement. So what is the significance of this break statement? So it will terminate your loop statement. So for example, if you have used either for loop or if you have used while loop, so it will terminate your loop and it will execute exactly the next statement which is written after your loop. For example, if I have written a while loop and after the while loop body I have written print goodbye. So what break statement will do, whenever it matches the condition, it will terminate your while loop, and the statement which I have written, that is break goodbye, it will get executed. The another type of control statement provided is continue. So what is continue statement used for? So if you want to skip any particular iteration, then in that situation we have to use continue statement. So what is the major difference between break statement and continue statement? So break statement will terminate your entire loop, where in case of continue, only the current iteration will get skipped. So if I have satisfied the condition that, for example, if I is equal to 4, and then if the condition is satisfied, I have pressed continue. So what this will do, it will skip the value of I when it is equal to 4. So these two statements you already studied in your previous programming languages. The next thing that Python support is a pass statement. So what is the use of this pass statement? So consider a scenario where you are not knowing what the actual condition needs to be satisfied when this particular iteration occurs. So at that particular time we have to use pass statement. Now let us move towards our next topic, that is reading input from the users. So until now what we have seen, we are taking some fixed variables and assigning it a fixed value. So now I want to allow user to specify the values for my input. So for that, Python provides a function which is known as input function. So what is the syntax of this input function? First you have to use input, then you have to use a parenthesis, and inside this you have to specify your message. For example, if I want user to tell him that enter a number, so what I have to do, I have to specify my statement inside the double quote inside the input statement, and this will be stored in a variable. Now what is the return type of this function? It is always a string. For example, if you want to compute any mathematical operation, then we have to use eval function. Now let us move towards our programming session to explore these different types of operators and looping statements, and we will execute our reading input from the user. So let us start with operators. So first we will cover is arithmetic operators. So let me consider two variables. I am taking first variable a is equal to 5, second b, and assigning it value as 3. Now I am performing all the arithmetic operations, that is addition and just doing a plus b. Now next operation we will be performing is subtraction. So a minus b, and here I have to just write it as subtraction. Next operation that I am performing is multiplication. So here multiplication, and symbol is a star b. Next I am performing is simple division, that is a divided by b, division. Next I am performing is floor division. For that we have to use two forward slashes. Floor division. Next I am performing is exponentation. For that I have to use two asterisks, and I am writing exponentation. So let me run this. So here you can see the different outputs of all the different arithmetic operators. Now let me move towards comparison operators. So I am taking variable a, assigning it value a is equal to 5, b is equal to 2, and I am going to check whether a is greater than b. So what will be the result of relational operators? It will be either true or false. So let us run this. So it is showing us true because 5 is greater than true. Next we will do is logical operator. So it includes greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and so on in comparison operators. Now in case of logical operators, it includes and, or, and not. So let me take two different variables, a equal to 2, b equal to, I am taking it as 5. I am checking if a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 0, in that case I want to just print that is satisfied, condition satisfied, else I want to print that is print condition false, condition not satisfied. So let us run this. So here you can see that is condition is matching, so it is printing condition satisfied. Now let us work with bitwise operator. Again I have taken two variables, that is a equal to 2, b equal to 3. Just I have represented it how we can write 2 in binary, that is 0 1 0, and 3 I am written in 0 1 1. So now let us perform bitwise operation. So whenever you want to perform AND operation, for that you have to use single ampersand. Whenever you want to perform OR operations, you have to use single pipeline. Whenever you want to perform ones complement, for that you have to use this tilde sign. Whenever you want to perform shift left operator, then in that case you have to first use variable name, then shift operator sign, and then number of times you want to shift. For example, I want to shift it 1 time. Next is shift right. So let us run this. So it is the output of all the bitwise operators. Now we will work with membership operator. So it includes in and not in. The return type of this operator is either true or false. Let us consider a string variable which is storing a string, that is hello world. Now I want to check whether hello is present in my string. If it is present, it will return true, and I am using here that is in operator. Next I want to check whether hi is present in my string. If it is present, it will return true, else it will return false, but in this case it will return false. Now I am using not in operator. Now what will be the output for this? It will be true. Why? Because hi is not present in my string variable, that is my str. So let us run this. So the output is true, false, true respectively. Now let us move towards identity operator. So identity operator is used for checking whether the objects are pointing towards the same memory locations or not. So first I am taking two variables and assigning it a common value, that is 1, and I am checking whether they are pointing to the same memory location or not. So and another two variables I have taken is var1 and 2. So what will be the output? Let's check. So first both are pointing towards the same memory location, so the output is true. Now here var1 and var2 are not pointing towards the same memory location, so it is showing me the output as false. Now the third is var1 is not var2, means var1 and var2 are not pointing towards the same memory location. It is correct, so it is showing me the output as true. Now let us move towards the looping and control statement. So first let us work with while loop. So simple program we will consider which will print first 10 numbers. So I am taking and initializing a variable I equal to 1, writing while condition, that is I is less than or equal to 10. Inside that I am printing the value of I, that is value of I, and I am printing it. Now I have to increment the value. Simple I++ is not supported by Python, so I have to write I plus equal to 1. So let us run this. So it has printed first 10 numbers. Now let us work with while loop with else. So considering the same example of above, what is the significance of else? So this statement will be executed when my condition gets evaluated to false. So here I am writing print loop terminated. So let us run this. So it will print first all the 10 values and it will show you the output, that is loop terminated. Now let us work with for loop with range function. So range function is taking three parameters, that is starting position, ending position, and step size. So let us work with for loop. So for I in range. Now by default the loop always starts from 0, but if I want to start it from 1, so here I have to specify it 1. It means that my loop will start from 1 and up to where I want to execute, that is for up to 10. And here I am printing, that is print value of I, and I am printing I. So let us run this. Now one thing you can note over here, it has printed only from 1 to 9. It hasn't printed 10. Why? Because it will take only a number which is less than the number you have specified, that is 10 minus 1, that is 9. So it will execute and print the value of I from 1 to 9. Now similarly let us work with for loop with else. So I am considering the above loop as it is and just adding else statement. So what it will do, whenever the condition evaluates to false, it will print loop terminated. So let us run this. So here you can see that it has printed 1 to 9 and the loop is terminated. Now let us work with control statement. So let me take this for loop only. Now I want to terminate the loop when the condition gets that whenever I value of I is 4, at that time I want to terminate my loop. So what I have to do, I have to write here if I is equal to 4, then I want to break my loop, else I want to print the number or the value of I, print, that is value of I, and specifying I. Now let us run this. So you can see here it has printed only 1, 2 and 3. Why? Because whenever it encounters a break statement, the control will get transferred towards the statement which is written outside the loop. So let me write one statement, that is after for loop. So now what it will do, it will print 1, 2, 3, and whenever it will encounter break, so the control will go out from this for loop and it will print the immediate statement which is written outside the loop. Now let us work with continue. So let me take this example only. Now continue. So now instead of break I am writing continue. So what it will do, it will skip only your current iteration and rest of the values will be printed. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now let us work with pass statement. So when we can use pass statement, so when I don't know what actual implementation I want to do, when the condition evaluates that is I equal to 4, so at that time simply I need to write is pass. So here is the output, that is 1, 2, 3. When it will be 4, we don't know what we want to do, so it has skipped that and it has printed 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now let us move towards how we can read the value from the user. So let us consider an example in which we are asking user to enter his semester and his subject. So let us run this. So enter your semester, that is 5, and enter the subject, that is Python. So here you can see it has printed your semester is 5 and your subject is Python. By default the return type of this input function is string. Now let us work with numeric data. I am telling user to enter two numbers and I want to perform addition of these two numbers. So let us run this. First number I am entering is 5, second number I am entering is 5. So here you can see it has printed 10. Why? Because I have explicitly typecasted it into integer. Now what I want to do, I want to use input function and I want a result, that is if user enters 5 plus 2, so it should give me direct result as 7. So to perform any evaluation, for that purpose we have to use a function which is named as eval. So let us run this. Now I am entering 5 plus 2, that is 7. So this was all about your today's programming session.